When we step into this text, we step into utter chaos. I want to paint it for you. The Amalekites were more massive than the Israelites. They were more dominant. They were brutal warriors. The Amalekites were brutal in how they killed. They preyed on women and children. They killed off those that were weaker physically first. They would do anything to get advantage of a nation. They were cruel. And worse still, they had hooked up with the Midianites. People who don't even like each other will get together to hate you. In another class, I call them comrades. Comrades are people who the only thing they have in common is what they're against. Constituents are people who the only thing they have in common is where they're going. And confidence, the only thing they have in common is you. So you have confidants who are for you. You have constituents who are for where you're going. The only thing about constituents, if they see somebody getting there quicker, they'll leap out of your car into their car because they never liked you. They like where you were going. And comrades, the only reason they are together, it's the only thing they have in common is their hatred of you or something. So the Amalekites and the Midianites were comrades against Israel, and it was working. It had beat Israel down to a pulp. Israel has given up everything, and they're now hiding in caves. The people God delivered in last Sunday's message, the people that God set free last Sunday, and we were shouting all over the place, the people who danced on the dead bones of Pharaoh, these are their children's children's children, and they're in trouble again. And now they're back in trouble again, and the Lord is using their enemies to teach. Ooh, that should have rung home. If that didn't ring home, your bell is broke. God uses your enemies to teach. He doesn't use your enemies because they're stronger than you. He uses your enemies to teach. So God is using the Amalekites and the Midianites to teach Israel, you have gotten out of control. You have left the teachings of your fathers. You have started worshiping idol gods. And I'm going to allow you to be defeated until I get your attention. Because you're so impressed with yourself, I'm going to break your heart till I bring you to your knees so you will discover me. You were too successful, you were too powerful, you were winning on every front, and I had to show you something to humble you, to make you submit. So God is using the Amalekites and the Midianites. He's not using the Israelites, even though the Israelites are his people. God uses your enemies. If you won't hear his word, that means you're carnal, then he has to speak to your circumstance. And he uses your circumstance because you ignored his word. And God uses your enemies to bring you in line. Israel beat up bad. Famine is in the land. Every time they grow crop, the Amalekites and Midianites come out and kill it and destroy it. And now we come into a text where Gideon is hiding his harvest. I'm going to get back to y'all in a minute. Have y'all ever hid your harvest? Has God ever blessed you, but you didn't want to show it? They phony. I'm going to talk to y'all. Has God ever done something for you, given you a blessing? You was afraid to wear it. You was afraid to drive it because you know how they are. And they can't handle what he did. When you step into the text, Gideon is hiding his harvest in the wine press. The Bible says he is threshing wheat in the wine press for fear of the Midianites, because if they find out that they got any kind of harvest, they're going to take that too. It's a hard thing to live around haters. It's an uncomfortable reality when you have to dumb down how bright you are, so because you're around somebody so insecure that they can't handle the brilliancy of your intellectual capacity, and so you got to go into hood talk. Yo, you in the boardroom talking about yo. Because if you appear too bright, often the person who hired you, how could you pick me and then want me to be stupid? I'm just asking, I don't know. But the person who picked you often hates you, or the people around you. They were after his harvest. And so he's trying to cultivate his harvest, and he's down in the wine press threshing wheat. Lord, I could stay there all day. I can't tell you how many times I had to put my wheat in the wine press. I better not wear that. I better not drive that. I better not say that. Beverly, see, where are we going to meet? No, let's not meet at the house. We're going to meet at Papados. Because if I thresh my wheat in the open, where my blessed people? Holler at your boy, holler at you. You got a new house, but you can't tell your cousin Joe. So you act like you leasing. I'm talking about threshing your wheat in the wine press. And there he is threshing his wheat in the wine press because Gideon sees himself as a farmer. He's raised wheat. He has a harvest. He thinks that's who he is. And he's down in the wine press harvesting, but fussing. Now look at this. Here's the strange thing. He's winning, but his people are losing. And inequity in your sociological environment creates a painful experience because the people who love you don't love what you got. And the people who love what you got don't love you. And now you got a little bit of wheat, but you got to get down in the wine press. And he's threshing his wheat in the wine press. He understands himself to be a farmer, and he's angry. He's angry because he never met the God of the Red Sea I preached about last week, but he heard about it. His grandmama and them. Medea and them. They told him about the God that delivered the children of Israel across the Red Sea and brought them through on dry ground and delivered them up safely on the other side. But he sees no, millennials, he sees no relationship with traditional religion and where he is in his life. And he's mad about it. He says, where is the God of our fathers? I'm through with that stuff. It don't work. If it worked like Grandma and them said it worked, how come the Amalekites and the Midianites are killing our people? So I have concluded, ain't nothing to this. If God was this good, why aren't you helping me? About every 100th comment I get on social media is some version of this. That's nice what you're saying, Rev, but if God was all of that, why am I holy? Let me tell you, let me stop and answer the question so you don't have to write this week. I'm gonna make this simple. God will not overrule your choices. It is easier for you to be angry at God than to take responsibility for the mistakes you made that brought you into the situation that you were in. And by the way, you never asked him before you made the choices that you made. But now he gets the punishment for the choice you made, and you're never going to get out until you take responsibility. Oh, I'm going to get some mail on that. God, hear you just in time. I'm going to need a lawyer. And he doesn't know that while he's complaining about needing deliverance and where is God, and he is looking for God, that God is looking for him. And the Bible says that the angel of the Lord sat down by the winepress. Now we got the angel of the Lord sitting down by the winepress. We got Gideon, who thinks he's a farmer, in the winepress threshing wheat. I need to underscore that the winepress is a place of transition. I need to underscore that the Lord has you here this morning because you're in the middle of a transition. And anytime you're in transition, every emotion in the world comes out of you. Anger and sadness and frustration and fear and doubt and strife and everything comes out of you because you're in an unstable environment. You've heard me talk about being with a weight trainer, being on a ball. I hate them balls. I hate them balls are demonic. They're from the devil. They're from the pits of hell. Give me a bench. Give me a bench, put me on something solid, and I can bear the weight. But they put you on the ball in an unstable environment because unstable environments make you activate core strength. Now you're in the threshing floor. It's an unstable environment, and he's having to activate core strength. And everything is coming out of him. And he's upset with God, and he's upset with the religion he's been taught. And he's saying, who's going to come and deliver us out of this? When are you going to get me out of this? This is your fault, God. It's always, when all else fails, blame God. Just blame God. The woman thou gave me. Remember that with Adam? I'm in this mess. You gave her to me. That was a subtle way of saying it's your fault. Not I ate the fruit. Not I ran out on her. Not I cheated. Not I haven't worked in 2 years. No. The woman thou gave me, it's your fault. They've been talking about don't do it, don't do it. I'm going to do it. Conviction is good for the soul. It's going to be all right. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. You're going to make it. And all of a sudden, he's trying to figure out, why doesn't God work the way I told him to? And isn't that what most of us are trying to figure out? Why doesn't God work the way I told him to? The way I expected him to? The way I wanted him to? Why didn't God do what I wanted him to do when I told him to do? Excuse me, God don't work for you. God is not on your payroll. God doesn't have to listen at you before God is God. And the angel is just checking him out. The angel is just sitting by the well watching this fool. I don't guess I should have said that.